So you're pretty close. Shara is actually the god that this inscription is being dedicated to. It was commissioned by a queen, but her name was Bara Irnun. Some people have almost got this right. Nobody's actually guessed it correct with all of the correct information, but many people are getting quite close. Many people thought it was a breastplate. I didn't think it was a breastplate. I said there's a possibility to be a breastplate. I actually thought it was would have been a plaque or plate for attached to a throne, or at least in some part of the Amach, the temple that it refers to on the inscription. But when researching this a little bit deeper, just a minute ago, I read a bit about it on the Louvre. I was trying to find out its dimensions, and apparently this is actually a beard. And I don't particularly want to argue with the archaeologists of the Louvre, so I guess this. I mean, it would make sense with the with the curved bit at the top there, so it fits as a beard to a statue. I've not ever seen anything like that before, but yeah, it's a part of a beard. But let me go through this and explain the cuneiform and the languages in a little bit of detail. I won't go into too much because it does take a while. So the top line says Shara Lugale Machra, which means this is the god Shara. The first two signs says Shara, and it says Lugal, that means king. Amach, that means together, it means exalted temple, but it's actually referring to a specific temple called the Amach, but that breaks down as exalted temple or magnificent temple. And Ra on the end is the dative case marker. This is the beneficiary, it marks the beneficiary. So this is how we know that it's being dedicated to Shara. So it's to or for Shara, the king of the Amach, or the king of the exalted or magnificent temple. And the next line is telling us who commissioned this. It says Bara Irnun, which is the first three signs, and that her name loosely translates to a royal dais, likely in reference to her impressive lineage. And then it says Nyesh Ekidu Bara Irnun. Sorry, no, it doesn't. It says Bara Irnun Dam Nyesh Ekidu. Dam means spouse, in this instance, wife. Nyeshikidu is the name of her husband, and then it says Lugal Umakake. So it's Bara Irnun, the wife of Nyeshikidu. She's the one commissioning this plaque, which may or may not be a beard. And then it tells us a little bit more about who she is. It says Dumu Yor Luma Lugal Umakake. So Dumu Yor Luma goes to here. That's from here to here. Dumu means child. In this case, it's a woman, so it's daughter. Your Luma, the daughter of your Luma. Lugal Umakake. Lugal means king again. Umakake, the king of Uma. Your Luma, fun fact. I don't know about fun, but it's a fact. He gained independence for the city of Uma from the brother of the first emperor in history. Many people think the first emperor in history was Sargon of Akkad. That's not actually true. The first emperor, predates him by a couple of hundred years, was Eannatum. He, by all definitions of an emperor, was an emperor. He unified several city-states under one rule, but it was very short-lived. So I think that's why it usually gets mentioned as Sargon of Akkad being the first emperor, because as soon as his brother Eannatum took to the throne, Yorluma, who's mentioned on this inscription, seized the opportunity and gained independence for the city of Uma from Eannatum's brother Enannatum. So, Dumu Yorluma Lugal Umakake, the daughter of Yorluma, the king of Uma. And then it goes on. Dumuka, this means descendant or granddaughter. Dumuka, and then we're going to have a name here. Dumuka Enakali, the descendant of Enakali. And then we just have Lugal Umakake again, that's the king of Uma. These are all kings of Uma. And then it says Egia Il. Egia means daughter-in-law. It can also mean bride, but most authors translate this as a daughter-in-law in this context. So it says Egia Il Lugal Umakake. He was another ruler of Uma. So she's the daughter-in-law of Il, the king of Uma. And then it says Shara. Sorry, no, it says U Shara Pa Mu Ea. Ushara Pa Muea. Shara is the name of the god again. Sorry, U, actually, the U is before Shara. U is a temporal clause stating when, and then Shara, so it's when Shara, and Pahmuea means comes forth resplendently. Many authors translate that as, but I translated it as graciously appeared, because Pa-e means appear, and I'm not going to get into the details of why the verbs get spelled out like this in this video, but it means appeared. But when Shara graciously appeared, or when Shara came forth resplendently, whatever you want to say, either of those two, it says Baraku Munadua. So Baraku means dais, this means holy, or sanctum. Actually, I translated this dais or sanctum. Either can get translated as. So the holy sanctum, and then Munadua means she built for him. So when Shara graciously appeared, the holy sanctum she built for him. And then this line here, Namtilanida, this is a early version of Namtilanishe, which means for her or his, depending on if it's a man or a woman, life. For her life, it's a dedication. Later text used the terminative case marker rather than the comitative case marker that they've used here. So directly, this actually says with her life, but for her life would be a fine translation as well. So Namtil, these two mean life, and Lani, that's the third person possessive marker in the singular, and then Da, this is the comitative case marker. So it's with her life, and it means dedicating. So he's dedicating her life. And then it says Shara e machshe sheish munirig. So Shara e machshe, all that together, is saying to Shara in the Ema, and then sheish munirig means she presented it to him there. So to Shara in the exalted temple, or in the Ema, in the magnificent temple, she presented this. It's referring to this plaque, or possibly a beard attached to a statue, or a whole statue, she presented to him in the Ema temple. So yeah, that is what all of that says. And very possibly a beard. And the dimensions of this, if anybody's still watching, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll put them over the top. I copied and pasted it. So these are the dimensions. I think it's quite small.